this quarterback class this year in the draft, it is deep, it is strong. You have your Rosens, your Darnolds, your Mayfields, your Allens, your Lamar Jacksons, Reggie. We got to talk about who is the best quarterback in this draft class.
I think when we're talking about complete, total package, I have to go with Josh Rosen on this one, just because he fits the prototype of the size, stature, height and weight. But then also, when I just watched this guy play all year long, he has a natural throwing ability, to his game. And I watched him I watched him closely in the USC UCLA game, because that was the game I wanted to see how
he was getting the snot kicked out of him.
He was, and he bounced back every time. He kept throwing touchdowns. He kept charging. And the only reason they didn't win that game is because their defense wasn't that great, right? So if he had at least somewhat of a supporting defense, they might have had a chance to win that game. But when I'm talking about total, complete package, I think Josh Rosen is a guy. Obviously, everybody talks about how smart he is. But that's not to say that he's going to go on to have the best career. Right. I just think at this point right now, I think he's the clear-cut number one.
But mine's a little blown by that, because you're a USC guy.
Yeah, I know. You guys keep throwing that out.
It's cool, though, man.
You have to say Sam Darnold, so why not Sam Darnold?
Well, I like Sam Darnold a lot. Don't get me wrong. I think the world of him. I think he's still very raw in talent. But this season, there were just too many interceptions, too many turnovers. There were times where he was forcing balls in the situations that he didn't have to, and it ended up being a turnover. So I think, again, like I said, when we're talking complete package, and I'm measuring these guys against each other, Josh Rosen, I think he's just a clear-cut number one.
Reggie, wait on this. You understand the Southern California culture. I mean, you live there now. You're from San Diego. You were Mr. USC. This idea with Josh Rosen. He's rich, he's spoiled, his parents are wealthy, his parents are well off, he's a surgeon and everything.
Surgeons,
Manhattan Beach.
Wow.
The idea would be, take that into consideration, that we don't need that kind of guy because he doesn't have the toughness, the desire, he's a SoCal soft, anything like that. For a team like Buffalo or the Jets to bring him in across the country, do you buy that?
He's rich. The flaw, if you would say, or the alleged flaw, is that he's not in love with the game. Isn't that what it is? He's not
I think that's an assumption based on the fact that he's so wealthy that he doesn't need the game.
So what do you when you hear that about a guy?
Well,
is there something to that?
I don't think there's anything to that. Listen, it's not his fault that his parents have done a great job and are wealthy and they have everything that they need. But again, that doesn't take away from his grind. That doesn't take away from his ability to be able to go out there on the football field and make the throws in the tight windows and to not turn the ball over. All those things are about Josh Rosen, period. It has nothing to do with his family, and that's not his fault. So I don't think we can hold that against him, because
it's a crazy thing to hold someone against.
It's a crazy thing to hold against somebody, right? Like, your parents are successful, really? That's why why we don't like you?
This is pick-a-card season. The other thing they say about him is that he's outspoken both socially and politically. He wore a hat that was anti-Trump. And
I like that.
Okay, so but if you're the face of the franchise, if you're the face of the franchise and you're in Cleveland, which might be a red state, like, does that stuff play into this at all?
I don't think so, because, again, we've seen athletes more and more become more and more outspoken about social issues, about whether it's politics. I'm very outspoken about politics. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I don't know if you do or not.
Yeah, I do. I've seen it.
But I'm extremely outspoken. So I like the fact that guys are more and more outspoken, because, listen, you're in the position you are for a reason. And if you have the ability to be able to speak out and to use your voice, right, for other people who maybe can't, then I think you should do that 100%. I think that's why LeBron will always, be regarded as one of the greatest ever, when compared to Jordan, is because, and I'm not saying he's better than Jordan, but just because his willingness to take on social issues and to take on, the things that, some other players may not, right?